Never say die. Never say die. The blackness. Keep on.
And welcome to another episode of Ask the Wiz. I'm your humble host, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves, saying thank you so much for joining us doing this, another edition of Ask the Wiz, the radio broadcast. You, my beloved listeners, have ventured inside that classroom without walls. Well, astute family members, this is an extremely prosperous day for you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wealth Astute family. For we have more than 50, count them, 50 positions that are getting us P.A.I.D, utilizing the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute, the R strategy, but also we have to close out our July option contracts. So we have more than 80 positions that are paying us today. Now there's absolutely no way we can go ahead and give out all the coordinates for all of those positions during this brief period of time that we have with you doing this Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast. So therefore, we're going to go ahead and do it in a most creative way. That's right, going to monetize all these positions. And then those of you that have positions that I'm going to be listing, well then quite naturally you monetize those. But with regards to, listen to me closely, your July contracts, monetize all of the balance of your July contracts. And if you have more than one August contract in any of these particular positions, then you will go ahead and monetize at least one of those contracts with a set of closed market order, issuing trailing stops at 3 to 5% below the set of closed index. But I'm telling you, yours truly is going to be giving you positions that are currently paying. We're talking about today, Thursday, July the 20th, from 28% profit to over 438% profit. All praises be to the ancestors and the creator. As you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family give P.A.I.D prolifically. And also during the first hour, yours truly will be identifying noteworthy insider trading activity of the day, followed up with the list of today's top 10 trending stocks. And then, my beloved Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family, yours truly will reveal the findings of a very, very covert meeting that was recently held by the uber wealthy in Boca Raton, Florida. Now, I'm going to give you information that will allow you to monetize that particular meeting. And I need for you to take copious notes because the best of the best, I'm talking about the uber wealthy, got together very quietly. It was over 600 people that was in this clandestine meeting, and they came up with two positions that they had collaboratively decided upon investing in that will continue to get them P.A.I.D, and yours truly is going to repeat and give those two positions to YOU. And we're going to wrap up the first hour as yours truly will reveal several ways to detect financial scam artists. That's right. I'm going to give you a list of things that you want to look at before and look at with regards to the person that you're talking about being your quote-unquote financial advisor. And we're also going to look at how automation is affecting employment and job creation around the world. As we go into the second hour, yours truly will identify multiple pending mergers that will get you P.A.I.D as we see now what others see eventually. That's right, going to look at pending mergers and get out in front of the market so we can monetize these situations. And yours truly also during the second hour will reveal how Dr. Michael Burry, that's right, you remember him? He was the key key subject of the movie The Big Short. Well, I'm going to go over how he's getting P.A.I.D these days and show you how you can mirror what he's doing and get P.A.I.D from the blue gold. We're talking about water. That's right, water will get you P.A.I.D. And we're going to wrap up as yours truly gives you additional ways to get P.A.I.D from blue gold, water as well. So family members, as you see, we got quite a bit to do in a brief period of time. I need for you to cut on your recording apparatus. I need for you to take copious notes because you will leave this Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast with information that will allow you to get P.A.I.D right, NOW. We're talking about obtaining and maintaining your economic liberation. You have arrived inside the Classroom Without Walls. Once again, peace and blessings be upon each and every one of you. This is your humble servant, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves, saying thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day. Now, before we get started, before we make Wall Street pay us right here on Main Street, we would be remiss if we didn't give all praise, honor, and glory to the ancestors and the Creator for this day that allow us to develop the third eye, the eye that can see the invisible, and then concurrently develop the third ear, the ear that can hear the inaudible. This in turn allows us to stay in contact with the Most High and the ancestors through that centralized conduit that is known as spirit. For as both you and I know, without spirit, we are absolutely nothing.
Heart and soul, body and mind, but the very essence of our existence is spirit. What is it about the human spirit that produces the courage and the strength to beat insurmountable odds, to survive and endure despite unbelievable circumstances? Our spirit embodies the very essence of our existence. We believe that it has been handed down from generation to generation. Beginning in Africa, the motherland, where for eons, we believe that the Creator heard us when we cried, saw us when we faltered, and helped us along the way. And now, more than ever, it is time for us to get back in touch with the spirit that lives inside us all. Because without it, we are less than whole. But with it, there is nothing we cannot overcome. For the essence of our existence is spirit.
Amen and ashe. Now, for those of you that want to authenticate the prophets that the ancestors and the Creator are about to bestow upon the beloved ASK THE WIZ Wealth Street family, we're talking about over 50 positions, not to include our July option contracts. Well, then we beseech you to engage in what is known as interactive radio by simply going to www.yahoofinance.com. That's www.yahoofinance.com. And upon arrival there, as yours truly gives out all of the symbols for these particular positions, all you have to do is punch them up, and you too can bear witness to the prophets that the ancestors and the Creator are bestowing upon the beloved ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family. Wealth Institute family members, portfolios open, please, for it is now time to get P.A.I.D. And now, family members, let's go to work, for we have quite a bit to do in a brief period of time. Let's make Wall Street pay us right here on Main Street. Now, I need for you to listen very, very closely to me. Because we have so many positions that are paying us today, yours truly is going to list the position, the company, along with its stock symbol. When you hear a position that is currently held in your portfolio listed, then you need to sell the closed market order on at least one of your contracts, issuing trailing stops at 3 to 5% below the set of close index on these ER plays, these earning report plays that I'm about to give to you. And you need to also concurrently monetize all, I said all, of the balance of your July contracts before 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So now, listen very closely, for I will give to you a list of the ER plays that are currently paying us. We're talking about positions that are paying us in less than 24 hours, okay? So here we go. American Express, symbol AXP. Bank First Corp, symbol BANF. Bank Corp South Inc., symbol BXS. Black Knight Financial Services, symbol BKFS. Benchmark Electronics, symbol BHE. Black Hawk Network Holdings, symbol HAWK. Brookline Bank Corp, symbol BRKL. C.H. Robinson Worldwide, symbol CHRW. CVB Financial Corp, symbol CVBF. Cathy General Bank Corp, symbol CATY. Cohen and Steers, symbol CNS. Crown Holdings, symbol CCK. Eagle Bancorp, symbol EGBN. FCB Financial Holdings, symbol FCB. Fidelity National Financial, symbol FNF. First Financial Bankshares, symbol FFIN. That's First Financial Bankshares, symbol FFIN. Kaiser Aluminum Corp, symbol KALU. Kinder Morgan, symbol KMI. LaSalle Hotel Property, symbol LHO. PTC Inc., symbol PTC. Plexus Corp., symbol PLXS. Qualcomm, symbol QCOM. RLI Corp., symbol RLI. SLM Corp., symbol SLM. SL Green Realty, symbol SLG. Supra Therapeutics, symbol SRPT. Simmons First National Corp., symbol SFNC. Steel Dynamics, symbol STLD. T-Mobiles USA, symbol TMUS. West Banco, symbol WSBC. Valmart Industries, symbol VMI. United Rentals, symbol URI. WW Granger, symbol GWW. Abbott Laboratories, symbol ABT. Alliance Data System, symbol ADS. BB&T Corporation, symbol BBT. Bank of New York Mellon, symbol BK. Blackstone Group, symbol BX. Checkpoint Software Technology, symbol CHKP. East West Bank Corp, symbol EWBC. GATX Corp, symbol GATX. Genuine Parts, symbol GPC. Home Bank Shares Inc., symbol HOMB. Key Corp, symbol KEY. MGIC, that's MGIC Investment Corp, symbol MIG. Monroe Muffler and Brake, symbol MNRO. Nucor, symbol NUE. Omni Group Inc., symbol OMC. PPG Industries, symbol PPG. Philip Morris International, symbol PM. Pool Corp, symbol POOL. That's pool, like swimming pool. Pool Corp, symbol POOL. Scholastic Corp, symbol SCHL. That's SCHL. Sherman Williams, symbol SHW. Snap-on Inc., symbol SNA. Sunoco Products, symbol SON. Syntel Inc., symbol SYNT. Travelers Company, symbol TRV. Union Pacific Corp., symbol UNP. And WAPCO Holdings, symbol WBC. That's WAPCO Holdings, symbol WBC. Family members, as you see, we've been blessed prolifically with a plethora of positions that are getting us P.A.I.D. Now, family members, what I need for you to do is sell the closed market order on at least one of your contracts. Issuing trailing stops at 3 to 5% below the seller close index on any of those August-related ER positions that I just gave you. And as it relates to the balance of your July contracts, you need to set a closed market order on the balance of your July contracts. Issuing trailing stops at 3 to 5% below the seller close index and get P.A.I.D. Go to work, my beloved family members, and make the ancestors and the Creator proud.
Yes, the world, planet Earth, third from the son of a gun. 360 degrees, and as new worlds emerge, stay alert, stay aware, watch the eagle, watch the bear. Earthquaking, foundation shaking, bias breaking, new day making change. Accumulating, liberating, educating, stimulating change. Tomorrow was born yesterday. From inside the rib or the people cage, the era of our first blood stage was blotted or erased or TV screened and defaced. Remember, there's a revolution going on in the world. One blood of early morning revolved to the one idea of our tomorrow. Homeboy, hold on. Now more than ever, all the family must come together. Ideas of freedom and harmony, great civilization. Yesterday brought today will bring tomorrow. Neon Leon, fast lane, brother, you were yesterday when dreams of karma and life still live. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be once again. Earthquaking, foundation shaking, investigating yesterday. I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. And to say the least, somebody went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well and we would come up with totally unreliable pictures of ourselves. But I compiled what few facts I could, I mean such as they are, to see if we could get a little bit of light. This is what I got so far. First, white folks discovered Africa and claimed it fair and square. Cecil Rhodes couldn't have been robbing nobody, cause hell, there wasn't nobody there. White folks brought all the civilization, wasn't none around. How could these folks...
Okay. Yeah, I can do that now.
Ah, yes, the world, planet Earth, third from the son of a gun. 360 degrees, and as new worlds emerge, stay alert, stay aware, watch the eagle, watch the bear. Earthquaking, foundation shaking, bias breaking, new day making change. Accumulating, liberating, educating, stimulating change. Tomorrow was born yesterday. From inside the rib or the people cage, the era of our first blood stage was blotted or erased or TV screened and defaced. Remember, there's a revolution going on in the world. One blood of early morning revolved to the one idea of our tomorrow. Homeboy, hold on. Now more than ever, all the family must come together. Ideas of freedom and harmony, great civilization. Yesterday brought today will bring tomorrow. Neon Leon, fast lane, brother, you were yesterday when dreams of karma and life still live. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be once again. Earthquaking, foundation shaking, investigating yesterday. I was wondering about our yesterdays and digging through the rubble. And to say the least, somebody went to a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well and we would come up with totally unreliable pictures of ourselves. But I compiled what few facts I could, I mean such as they are, to see if we could get a little bit of light. This is what I got so far. First, white folks discovered Africa and claimed it fair and square. Cecil Rhodes couldn't have been robbing nobody, cause hell, there wasn't nobody there. White folks brought all the civilization, wasn't none around. How could these folks be civilized when wasn't nobody writing nothing down? And to prove all their suspicions, well, didn't have to wait too long. They discovered there were whole tribes of people in plain sight with no clothes on. That's right. The women, the men, the young, and the old righteous folks covered their eyes. And no time was spent considering their mind. Hell no, this just wasn't civilized. Another way they knew the folks were backwards, or at least this is how we were taught, is that unlike the civilized people of Europe, these tribal groups actually fought. And yes, there were some rather crude implements, and yes, there was primitive art, and yes, they were masters of hunting and fishing. Courtesy came from the heart. And yes, there were medicines, love, and religion, intertribal communication by drum, but no paper and pencils and other utensils, and these folks never even heard of a gun. So this is why the colonies came to stabilize the land. The dark continent had copper and gold, and the discoverers had a plan. They would discover all the places with promise and didn't need no leases or deeds. Then they'd appoint people to make everything legal, to sanction slavery and greed. And when the natives got restless deep in the jungle, they would call it guerrilla attack and never described that folks finally got wise and decided that they would fight back. Still, we are victims of word games. Semantics is always a bitch. Places once called underdeveloped are now called mineral rich. And still we are constantly hounded with unity just beyond reach. Egypt and Libya used to be in Africa. They've been moved to the Middle East. There are examples galore, I assure you, but if interpreting was left up to me, I would swear every time this version ain't mine. That's why it's called His Story. Earth-shaking, foundation quaking, bias breaking, new day making change in the world. Should have got to be some change here. Got to make a stand, got to understand. Every woman, every man, are you ready? Got to make some change here. much more to gain than the token we attained. And we can change, gonna change the world. Got to believe, change the world.
Monetizing ER positions. ER positions. Sell the closed market order on your August ER positions. And sell the closed market order on the balance of your July option contracts. Go to work, family. You're inside the classroom without walls. Over 50 positions paying us today, courtesy of the ancestors and the Creator.
Think it's just a little bit smaller every day. Brothers around the world, can you come out and play? Come blow your horn, come clap your hand, come play your drum. Need the rhythm like the flowers need the sun. There ain't no convenient time to be put squarely on the line. And the people need us more than the symbols we adore. And we got to believe that we can change the world. We can sure enough change the world. We need peace. Let that be the first change. A little bit of peace. Let that be the first change. We need peace. Yeah, there's no secret in that. Peace in the world, don't you know? I guess you do. It ain't no secret. We need peace. Everybody knows war had its chances. A little bit of peace.
We've just gotten P.A.I.D. Prolifically, all courtesy of the ancestors and the Creator.
Summer hot, autumn rain, or winter ice.
And now, family members and listeners alike, let us now go to work and take a look at noteworthy insider trading activity of the day, followed up with the list of today's ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute top 10 trending stocks.
Don't you feel in your heart war had its chances?
As we take a look at noteworthy insider trading activity of the day, well, there's not really anything on the buy or sell side that commands our attention. Not anything at all that commands our attention with regards to insider trading and or selling. We're talking about buying or selling today.
Got it in our hands. We can change the world. Got it in our hands.
So therefore, let's move our attention to the top 10 trending stocks for today. We're talking about for Thursday, July the 20th, 2017. Now, for those of you that are on the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute ER, or shall I say, tweet list, you received this noteworthy insider, this information, if you will, the list of the top 10 trending stocks earlier today, and many of you have actualized and or monetized these particular positions upon completion of the appropriate drill down. Now, if you too would like to receive actionable intelligence each and every day that the U.S. markets are open, that upon completion of the appropriate drill down will get you P.A.I.D, then all you have to do is go to our ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute website at www.askthewiz.info. That's www.askthewiz.info. And then upon arrival at our homepage, all you have to do is go to the right-hand side of our homepage. You'll see the tweet submitted by yours truly. Simply click on follow us. Put in your pertinent information, and each and every day that the U.S. markets are open, you too will receive actionable intelligence that upon completion of appropriate drill down will get you P.A.I.D. It's the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute tweet list. Get on it today. And now let us go over the top 10 trending stocks once again for Thursday, July the 20th, 2017. Number 1 position held down by Microsoft, symbol MSFT. Number 2 position held down by Ford Motor Company, symbol F. Number 3 position held down by Abbott Laboratories, symbol ABT. Number 4 position held down by Monogram Residential Trust, symbol MO. RE. Number 5 position held down by Apple, symbol AAPL. Number 6 position held down by Nvidia, symbol NVDA. Number 7 position held down by Nike, symbol NKE. Number 8 position held down by Architel Mattel, symbol MT. Number 9 position held down by Applied Materials, symbol AMAT. And the number 10 position of today's top 10 trending stocks is held down by Morgan Stanley, symbol MS. So there you have it, the top 10 trending stocks for Thursday, July the 20th, 2017. Let me repeat them once again quickly. Microsoft, symbol MSFT. Ford Motors, symbol F. Abbott Laboratories, symbol ABT. Monogram Residential Trust, symbol MORE. Apple, symbol AAPL. Nvidia, symbol NVDA. Nike, symbol NKE. Archer Mattel, symbol MT. Applied Materials, symbol AMAT. And Morgan Stanley, symbol MS. Now, family members and listeners alike, I want to bring to your attention an article that I ran across this morning. In fact, this article is pretty disturbing, but yours truly has been telling you about this for years now. I'm talking about companies' capacities to walk away from pension obligations. That's money that is owed to the retirees of a company and or large organization. We're talking about repaying people for funds that people are allowed to have taken out of their paycheck to fund their retirement. So many people believe that when they retire, that their pension fund payment along with Social Security will allow them to live out the rest of their life in a blissful manner. And nothing more can be further from the truth. And in fact, just yesterday or the day before yesterday, I sent out a link to all of the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family members, all 26,000 plus or minus strong, pertaining to an article that has come out pertaining to Social Security that says unless something is changed pertaining to the Social Security system, that the Social Security system will be bankrupt in 17 years. I didn't say 170 years. I said 17 years. And let's look at pensions. For those of you that are members of the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family, you know many times I've given you examples of municipalities and major corporations just simply walking away from their pension obligations and leaving pensioners high and dry. Now, there was an article that was released today by CBS News, okay? And the title of the article says, "Another blow for Heartland workers / pensions." Now, I'm going to read portions of this verbatim so you can understand and understand the importance of learning powerful strategies and techniques to put your money to work for you so that you don't become a victim / volunteer to this rape and pillaging of people's retirement funds, i.e. pensions and Social Security. And I quote directly from the article, published by CBS News. It says, Friday was a bad month for Larry Burrell and thousands of other retired Ohio iron workers. His monthly take-home pension was cut by more than half, from $3,700 per month to $1,600 per month. Things have been rough in the Rust Belt, but this was a particularly powerful punch in the pocket for Burrell, who started in the trade at 19 and worked for 36 years before opting for early retirement to make way for younger workers. Unfortunately, the sagging industry doesn't have enough younger workers to pay the retirees like Burrell, whose pension plan is in what the United States Treasury Department calls, quote, critical and declining status, end quote. It goes on to say that Burrell and the 400,000 members of his Central States Pension Fund are the canaries in the coal mines as far as pensions cutback go. At least 50 Midwestern pension plans, mostly the kind jointly administered by trustees for a labor union and a group of employees, are in the decrepit state of condition. Several plan sponsors have already applied for the Treasury Department to cut back retirees' allotments. And the article goes on and on. Family members, this is not fiction. This is not some Hollywood script. This is actual persons who have worked, this one man, over 30 years and contributed to his pension just to have it cut unilaterally. They didn't ask him. They cut his pension, okay, from $3,700 a month to $1,600 a month. Now, how is he supposed to maintain his current lifestyle on almost half, or they cut more than half of what he used to get paid from his pension? That cannot be done. The math does not add up. And whose fault is that? He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was a loyal employee, and he did what he thought he was supposed to do by allowing the company or the union to take out payments out of his paycheck every pay period to contribute to the pension plan. And now they're reneging on him. You see, family members and listeners like I've always said, when you allow a pension or any type of retirement program to take money out of your paycheck with the promise to pay, notice what I'm saying, not an obligation to pay, that's two different things. A promise to pay, then guess what? You're wishing on a star, because essentially what you're doing is you're giving the entity that you're allowing to take the money out of your paycheck every pay period, you're giving them an IOU. An IOU to be paid in the future. But you got to understand and understand. You got to go through the now to get to the future. Family members, let this be inspirational to you. Let it be something that compels you to master the powerful strategies and techniques that we teach you here in the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute. Because family members, at the end of the day, this system does not care about you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family, or anyone else. You best believe it's going to take care of itself first. And those that run the system are going to run the system so it takes care of them first. You best believe the chairman and CEO of the entities and the pension fund so-called administrators of the pension that I just described to you, that is cutting back, they won't get a cut back at all in their payments or their quality of life. Take heed, family members, because we're going to give you powerful information that would allow you to ensure that nothing like I just read from you from the CBS article ever happens to YOU. You absolutely must do for self, and understand and understand that no system in and of itself, okay, is obligated to do for you. You must fight the power and do for yourself. The time is now, for tomorrow and it's not guaranteed, and yesterday has long since gone. What are you going to do, family? Are you going to lay down, or are you going to get down? Are you going to do for self and fight the power that seeks to keep you in a slave state? Go to work, family, and obtain and maintain the education that you need to do for self. Fight the power. And now, family members and listeners alike, please listen very, very intently. Because while you sleep, the hidden hand creeps. Back in February of this year, a very, very clandestine meeting was held. A meeting held by the uber wealthy. It was an invitation-only meeting. And as I've said, this meeting was held down in Boca Raton, Florida. Now, at this meeting, one of the prerequisites to be invited to this meeting was you had to have a liquid, that means cash on hand, net worth of $100 million. That was the cutoff. You did not get the invite unless you had a bona fide liquid net worth of $100 million. Now, at this particular meeting, there was over 600 attendees. In fact, there was 652 attendees at this meeting. And during this particular meeting, okay, in fact, I'll give you the exact date it was held. It was held on February the 6th of this year in Boca Raton, Florida. Now, as I said, this wasn't an ordinary group of people meeting, okay? The average net worth, we're talking about liquid net worth of these people, was $100 million per person. And what they told each other in that meeting, in that particular room, is crucial for every trader and investor to hear, but they only wanted those uber wealthy persons, the invitees only, to hear it. But I'm going to share some of that information with you right now. Because they think differently. The uber wealthy think differently than the masses. Because they develop what might be the ultimate investing strategy. Now, it doesn't involve the risky alternative investments and tax shelters that most people associate with the uber wealthy. No, no, no. These are moves that you, I, we, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family can make right now from our computers using any brokerage account. It is a simple way to build a multi-million-dollar nest egg consistently. It's a wealth building strategy that they discuss, that they fine-tune, that they utilize now to make sure that they have consistent income streams coming in no matter what. Now, here's the most intriguing thing that I discovered about this meeting, okay? Every single person in that Florida conference room this past February had made their money in different ways. Some made them via stocks, some made it via bonds, some made it via real estate, some made it via private equity, some even made it through tech startups. But all of these uber wealthy people were there for the very same reason. They came per the invitation because they were sick and tired of walking around with a bullseye on their backs. You see, banks, trust companies, and brokerage firms see the uber wealthy as prey, people they can siphon fees off of. And as one attendee there, who was a former executive in 5 different companies, the way he put it was, quote, "I felt the advice I was getting was always tainted," end quote. 2 others who were attendees there discovered they were using the same investment advisor, but one of them was paying more for the exact same advice, the exact same service. Another one called stockbrokers and wealth managers, quote, "a den of thieves," end quote. A den of thieves who want to, quote, "make themselves money first, then consider making money for their clients," end quote. So with nowhere to go and nobody that the uber wealthy themselves could trust with their money, they turned to each other and called this private conference in Boca Raton, Florida this past February. Call it a support group for paranoid multi-millionaires, if you like. And what they did at that meeting is unlike anything I've ever heard of. You see, over the 3 days that they met, each person in the conference was forced to present their personal portfolios to everyone in the room. They had to defend their investment choices in front of over 600 plus people who had proven they know how to make money as well. Now, can you imagine it? Most people don't want to talk about how much money they spent on last night's dinner, let alone discuss their entire nest egg and their investment portfolio. And as one attendee at the conference said, he said, defending my portfolio was like taking my clothes off in the public. But he says the grueling hours, the heated debates that went on in that room amongst the uber wealthy, and harsh critiques were 100% worth it. A former partner at Bain Consulting, you know, the consulting company where Mitt Romney cut his teeth, he said he got what he came for. And that was, quote, a chance to look at investment opportunities I would have never seen otherwise, end quote. And another CEO of a major hair product maker said the process stopped him from making bad investments. You see, like the rest of us, it turns out that the uber wealthy are looking for reliable investments that can protect and grow their wealth. So, what did I do? I got a copy because they had the minutes kept at each one of the sessions. And what ended up happening was they distributed those minutes to the 600 plus uber wealthy invitees after the conference. But yours truly got a copy of those minutes. And so what I did was I dug into those minutes and I looked at the various strategies that were brought up and discussed amongst those that were at the conference. And you know what, family? I noticed the same two stock positions, the same two companies kept appearing over and over and over again. These are regular common stocks that you, me, we, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family can buy in any brokerage account. And we can set them and forget them because these two particular positions are making the uber wealthy get P.A.I.D. over and over and over again. You see, when you've accumulated over $100 million worth of liquid net worth, you don't want to spend your time obsessing over your trading and investment portfolio. No, you want to be free to enjoy your wealth. And that's the best basic lesson these wealthy people, we're talking about these uber wealthy people, taught yours truly. Each of these two companies I'm about to give to you is rapidly expanding its business, improving its bottom line, and offering incredible long-term potential. Let us learn from those that are getting P.A.I.D. consistently. Let us learn from the uber wealthy. The first position I want to give you, some consider is the perfect stock. It's already a household name with more than 1 billion of its products in use. It nearly is twice as profitable, okay, as Apple and Google. In fact, listen to me, this company is more profitable than 98% of the firms in the S&P 500. And the uber wealthy know it, and they are actualizing and monetizing this particular position. This company's stock has shot up 664% in the past 10 years, crushing the 53% gain of the S&P 500. The company I'm speaking about is MasterCard, symbol MA. MasterCard. This particular position came up more and more often in every one of the 600 plus uber wealthy clients' portfolio. Now let me break it down to you why they see now what others see eventually and why they're getting P.A.I.D. from MasterCard, symbol MA. Put very, very simply, we are on our way to a cashless society. And MasterCard is leading that revolution. You see, this is an unstoppable global trend driven by billions of consumers, both on and offline. Even in the world's largest developed countries, okay, to include the United States, credit and debit card usage grew by 20% in the past 10 years. And the cashless revolution is only just beginning. Because around 85% of all transactions worldwide are still being conducted with cash. So even if credit cards and electronic payments never fully replace cash, a move to just 30% would double credit card share of global transactions and their volume. Family members, MasterCard, symbol MA, is smack dab in the middle of this revolution, this cashless society revolution. So it's the perfect growth stock for our portfolio that will allow us to get P.A.I.D. like the uber wealthy. And the second position I want to give you, the second position that came up over and over again, along with MasterCard, in the portfolios of the uber wealthy, is one of the most dominant companies on the planet. A monster in the tech world that's sitting on a $70 billion pile of cash. Family members, I'm talking about Alphabet, symbol GOOG, the former Google. Now, as you know, Alphabet is the parent company of Google, a stock that you absolutely want to consider for inclusion into your portfolio, especially at its current prices. Remember, Alphabet's Android platform runs on over 50% of all smartphones in the world. Apple's iOS runs on just 38%. And for every ad that gets clicked on Android, every app sold, Alphabet gets a bit more revenue. Now, with over 2.6 billion smartphones out there, expected to reach 6.1 billion by the year 2020, by the way, that revenue stream is headed straight up. But here is why Alphabet is such a great position for you, me, we, the ASK THE WIZ family, as it is for the uber wealthy. You see, Alphabet isn't just an internet search advertising company. No. Not anymore. It's an innovation company. Alphabet has proven its ability to constantly evolve and reinvent itself, no matter how big it gets. This makes it a perfect position to have in our portfolio. And even better, Alphabet right now is selling at a discount. All of this without even accounting for Alphabet's revolutionary new driverless car, which is about to add an entirely new profit stream for the company. Family members, take heed to that which is being done by the uber wealthy and consider these two positions for possible inclusion to your portfolio upon completion of the appropriate drill down. We're talking about MasterCard, symbol MA, and Alphabet, symbol GOOG, and think about the genius of the uber wealthy with regard to these two positions. Number one, MasterCard. The world has to have a conduit for the transfer of funds, for the payment of goods, products, and services. MasterCard fills that void. And the second thing that they've so cleverly monetized through Alphabet is that transactions that are performed on smartphones, as smartphones proliferate the world, Alphabet's Android platform runs on over 50%. That's half of all of the smartphones in the world. And for every ad that gets clicked on Android, every app sold, Alphabet gets P.A.I.D. And as I said, with over 2.6 billion smartphones out there now, expected to reach 6.1 billion by 2020, the revenue stream for Alphabet will continue to grow. Family members, giving you the information that you need to not only obtain, but also maintain your economic liberation. And when we come back, I'm going to explain to you why it's so important that you take heed to what the uber wealthy are doing, take heed to how the uber wealthy are investing and trading, because there's something known as automation that is growing, that is going to affect employment and job creation, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before. You must make your money work for YOU. Lest not you do that, you then will become a victim of this capitalistic system. Gonna come back at you with ways and means to get P.A.I.D. as you keep your eye on automation and its effect on jobs and employment. You're inside the classroom without walls. Get P.A.I.D. family.
Every day it gets harder, just the cost of living pulling me down. I try to stay above water, but these bills got me back to drown.
I can't keep living this life, robbing Peter, but still can't play ball. I just been fighting this fight, but I don't know what's the point of it all.
I keep a positive mind, but it's hard to flow when your cash is low. I'm working days and nights, still I can't get up out of this hole.
Because I get paid on the first, paid on the last,
And struggle all through the middle.
every month I get paid on the first, paid on the last, and struggle all through the middle, yeah, yeah. M-O-N-E-Y, never seem to multiply for me. Ain't nothing moving, 'cause I keep losing. M-O-N-E-Y, never seem to multiply for me. Ain't nothing moving, 'cause I keep losing, yeah. Them bankers know that they own us, but I swear it's modern slavery. Oh yeah, they give each other a bonus while our children live in poverty. Shame, what a shame.
I keep on teaching my kids, you work hard, you go far in this life.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reality is, I'm slaving on to the bone to survive. Oh,
I'd like to take you away, girl, but I just can't see how that's gonna be. Yeah, don't like to say it this way, girl. Somebody rich said the best thing to breathe. Because I get paid on the first, played on the last.
and struggle all through the middle.
Every month I get paid on the first, played on the last. Working hard, working hard. I get paid on the first, played on the last.
And then I struggle through the middle.
Every month I get paid on the first, played on the last. And struggle all through the middle. M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me. Not for me, not for me. M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me. Nothing moving, I keep losing.
I keep a positive mind, but it's hard to flow when your cash is low. Working days overtime, still I can't get myself out of this hole.
Because I get paid on the first, played on the last.
And struggle all through the middle.
Every month I get paid on the first, played on the last. My back, struggling. Because I get paid on the first, played on the last.
I just struggle through the middle.
Every month I get paid on the first, played on the last. On my back, struggling, struggling. M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me.
Not a damn thing moving, no.
M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me. M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me.
Ain't nothing moving, 'cause I keep losing.
M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply.
As I indicated to you earlier, while you sleep, they creep. And you think that it's sad that those people that I discussed with you earlier out of that CBS article, they're going to be losing about 50% of their pension payments effective immediately, and they're supposed to try to live their current lifestyle off of a 50% reduction in monthly income. That's not going to happen. But the hidden hand, Wall Street also has another doozy for the person that currently has a job. Let's forget about the retiree. No, they got something else for the current person that's employed. There are people out there that would say, well, you know what, I've got me a job. I'm okay. You know, everything is A-okay, and I'm not worrying about a person that doesn't have their job. I've got mine. Well, let me tell you something. You need to pay close attention to what the hidden hand, what the capitalistic system is doing to increase its profits and minimize its cost. It's called technology. United States manufacturing output continues to hit record highs. Yet the total number of manufacturing jobs in the United States has declined by 30% in the past couple of years. Let me repeat that. U.S. manufacturing output continues to what? Hit record highs. However, the total number of manufacturing jobs in the United States has declined by 30% in the past couple of decades. How does that happen? Well, I'm going to tell you how that happens. Okay? People are being replaced by machines, and it's going to only pick up more and more speed. In North America, just last year, businesses ordered 35,000 robots. That was a 10% increase over 2015. Now, of those robots purchased, the automotive sector accounted for 20,000. Not that long ago, 80% of the work that went into manufacturing a car was done by a human. Today, 80% of that work is done by robots. Now, what we've seen over the last couple of years is a shift, okay, that has occurred. This shift has caused a swift uptake in job automation. Now, we've hit a tipping point, and the speed will only increase at this point. Amazon's robot workforce increased 50% last year to 45,000 robots. This is saving Amazon tens of millions of dollars per warehouse. In 2015, the money spent globally on robots was $71 billion. That's in 2015, the money spent globally on robots was $71 billion. And by 2019, spending is expected to total $135.4 billion. And it is projected that we will see a compounded annual growth rate of robotic purchases of 17%. Now, in 2015, sales of robots jumped 15%. This was the biggest increase recorded in a single year. And according to a recent article that I read from the International Federation of Robotics, okay, the global population of working robots today is 1.2 million. It's projected to increase to 2.6 million by the year 2019. We're talking about 2 years, family members. And over the next decade, the population of industrial robots is projected to increase 300% in the United States. And worldwide, shipments of industrial robots will triple by the year 2025. So it's easy to see why people who have jobs, quote unquote, they need to be worried. And those that have retired and getting pension checks and Social Security, I've already explained to you earlier in today's Classroom Walls Radio broadcast why they definitely need to be worried. You see, back in 2010, an industrial robot cost an average of $150,000. But by 2015, the average cost declined by 83% to $25,000 for an industrial robot. And at the same time, there's been a push for higher minimum wages for human workers, as well as demand for companies to increase efficiencies, productivity, and reduce costs to remain competitive. That sounds like a recipe for robots. You see, family members, today it's not just manufacturing jobs that are set to be replaced by automation and robots. Okay? Believe it or not, there are multiple hamburger companies, hamburger facilities. We're talking about Wendy's, we're talking about McDonald's that are using robots to flip their burgers and give you your fries and your shakes. Once again, demand, the need for better efficiencies and productivity, and the opportunity to reduce cost are the big drivers. Last year, the top burger chains in the world notched $75.5 billion in sales. But listen to this. At the same time, restaurant worker turnover hit an all-time high of 113%. Once again, giving you information that will bring home the point as to why you must learn powerful strategies and techniques to get you P.A.I.D. consistently. Because jobs are poised to be things of the past. Robots never call in sick. They don't need coffee breaks. They don't need a pension. They don't even ask for a raise. They just produce, and they do it efficiently. You must see now what others see eventually, and get P.A.I.D. from the robotic industry, and make sure that your money is generating revenue and income for you, because there's a robot that's poised to take your position. Take your position on the plantation. You're inside the classroom without walls. I'm your humble servant, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves. And when we come back, we're going to show you and give you information as to how you can protect yourself from the so-called financial advisors, the cohorts of those on the streets of Babylon. We're talking about Wall Street, which is their street, and we need to make them pay us right here on our street. Showing you how to detect financial scam artists. Up next. Wall Street, their street. Make them pay you on your street, Main Street.
This is our street, marching like you're cool, holding big ass signs like a socialistic fool. This is our street, whining like your mule, with no solutions better than your partisans' pool. Yeah, this is our street, big brother, we condemn, trying to break us up, but we're not REM. This is our street, listen to the beat, yeah, resonated in, this is our Wall Street. The Lehman Brothers back, and we're shouting at the flock. All you little haters, get the hell off our block. I'm looking out my window on the 51st floor, watching all your people. Man, your life's a big bore. Thinking to myself, what's this all for? I turn on the news and it's ran by Michael Moore. These people camping out with their ignorant signs, saying Wall Street committed some fraudulent crimes. A movement has arisen, which Facebook organized. Occupy Wall Street. Who you trying to defeat? You say your side's right and our side is wrong. The bankers making money versus the potheads on the lawn. Yeah, this is our street, marching like you're cool, holding big ass signs like a socialistic fool. This is our street, whining like a mule, with no solutions better than your partisans' fool. This is our street, big brother, we condemn, trying to break us up, but we're not REM. This is our street, listen to the beat, resonated in, this is our Wall Street. All you marching zombies are causing lots of issues. We'll tell the hard truth, first you better grab some tissues. Listen to us speak, not lying when we tell. Banks open up their vaults, and then they went to hell. The buck was passed from here, it's the dollar we control. When Greenspan helped you get it, you invested like a troll. The central bank stumbled, caused the real estate bubble. Homes nearly doubled, while you cashed out with no trouble. Now you occupy the street like we should take the heat. You got it all wrong, and that's the point of this beat. You're just like the Greeks in protest mode, with no solutions better than our current status quo. This is our street, your hygiene's so poor, and now a break can occur from your scabby cold sore. This is our street, our turn to roast, just like a bacteria with polluted hosts. This is our street, go to DC, it's they who take a pay and turn the This is our street. Listen to this beat. Resonated in. This is our Wall Street. With elections coming up, this movement helps Obama. The people contemplate whether he devises drama. A government conspiracy to occupy our shack. Obama's just like Bush, except that ass was in Iraq. You want to tax us more? Then give a good pitch. Proven growth of GDP comes from stripping down the rich. Wall Street measures value. You bitch about our ration. The problem's your behavior. Keeping up with Kim Kardashian. This is our street. Aren't your people broke? You spent Black Friday on a holiday, you dope. This is our street. Your actions aren't wise. Pimps like Jay-Z simply live off your demise. This is our street. Whining that you're stuck. Your people who are pissed always claim you got no luck.
This is a live on the air Wiz alert. Live on the air Wiz alert.
Resonated.
The juice is loose.
This is our street.
O.J. Simpson has been granted parole. Once again, the juice is loose. O.J. Simpson has been granted parole.
It's called the free market. Commerce comes from this town. This is our street. You're not the 99%. It's hard-working citizens afraid to represent. This is our street. Think about this on Wall Street. Ain't the problem. Your movement is all wrong. Lehman Brothers. Yeah.
And now let's take a look at how you can detect those low-down scams. Those financial scam artists, both on Wall Street and abroad. Now, this past weekend, I took the time to look at a movie. You might be well advised to take a look at this same movie. The movie was entitled The Wizard of Lies. The Wizard of Lies. It starred Robert De Niro as Bernie Madoff. And like normal, De Niro delivered a riveting performance that earned him a 2017 Emmy nomination for the Best Lead Actor in a Drama. Once again, the movie that I watched was The Wizard of Lies, and it's about the life of Bernie Madoff. Now, rightfully rotting in jail, Madoff bilked his trusting clients out of billions of dollars. And watching De Niro play Madoff got me to thinking about how many other Madoffs are now operating undetected. Now, I'm going to provide you with some actionable steps to keep the fraudsters away from your money. And I'll do that in just a few minutes. But first, let's look at the growing phenomenon of financial crime and how it affects individual investors like you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family. Now, it's not just the highly publicized crooks such as Madoff who made off with a lot of people's money. No, a lot of ordinary brokers and financial advisors don't have their clients' best interests at heart. And that's why nobody should know more about your money than you. It reminds me of the joke about a naive newbie at a brokerage firm being shown the yachts of the partners of the firm sitting there in the dock. And he asked, but I see the partners of the brokerage firm's yachts, but where are the customers' yachts? They were nowhere to be found. You see, the latest annual survey of state and local consumer protection agencies conducted by the Consumer Federation of America and the North American Consumer Protection Investigators finds that the prevalence of financial ripoffs has reached epidemic proportions. Now, perhaps it shouldn't have come as a surprise that U.S. Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta allowed the Department of Labor contested fiduciary rule for retirement accounts to become applicable on June the 9th of this year. Now, this was fiercely opposed by the financial industry, but the rule declares that brokers can no longer earn commissions and other forms of conflicted advice compensation from consumers unless they sign a best interest contract agreement with the customer, which commits the advice provider to a fiduciary standard of giving advice in, quote, the best interest, end quote, of the client, earning, quote, reasonable compensation, end quote, and providing full disclosure and transparency about the products and compensation involved. But you'll need more than that fiduciary rule to protect you out there. According to news stories that have surfaced in recent days, many mainstream publications have been conned for years into running stories by writers, some with fictitious bylines and biographies, by the way, who pretend to be unbiased financial analysts, but who were in fact paid by interested parties to facilitate, quote, pump and dump, end quote, stock schemes. So you need to understand and understand. Simply because articles show up on creditable websites such as Yahoo Finance and Bloomberg and the like, that does not necessarily mean they are legitimate. Almost all of them are written by unaffiliated parties that may or may not have a hidden agenda. Consequently, before making any trading or investment decision based on a news story, it is critical, it is crucial that you understand and understand who has written the story and any potential economic interest that party may have in the subject of the article. Now, all of this brings me back to Bernie Madoff, who made off with so many people's money. See, he seems like a guy you could trust. An experienced stockbroker. He once served as chairman of the NASDAQ. I said he once served as the chairman of the NASDAQ. And his wealth management company, Bernie L. Madoff Investment Securities, LLC, boasted of consistent market-beating gains. And they always had an enticing and inevitable roster of rich and famous clients. He seemed to take pleasure in helping, quote-unquote, clients, employees, and charities. But this man was and is a monster. As the world now knows, Bernie A. Madoff Investment Securities was a Ponzi scheme on a mind-boggling scale. Uncle Bernie, as people called him, stole an estimated $50 billion, I said $50 billion, making it the largest financial fraud in United States history. Once known for a lavish lifestyle, Madoff is now serving a 150-year sentence in the Supermax wing of the New York City's Metropolitan Correctional Center. Now, Madoff's new Manhattan home is the size of a walk-in closet, that's right, with cinder block walls and a bunk bed. And his fellow inmates are hardened mobsters, killers, and terrorists. You see, the essence of Madoff's scheme was simple. He deposited client money into a Chase Manhattan bank account that was his rather than investing it. And when clients asked for withdrawals, he used the money in the Chase account that belonged to them or other clients to make good on the requested funds. And he withdrew money at his leisure from that same account for his own personal use. Now, among Madoff's victims were scores of celebrities. But you don't have to be famous to get got. It could happen to anyone. And lots of Madoffs, trust me, still lurk out there, ready to pounce on unsuspecting victims. So now let's look at some things that would allow you to detect a possible Bernie Madoff in your midst. Here are tips to avoid that will keep you from getting ripped off by a financial advisor. Number one, verify the existence of a third-party custodian. Once again, verify the existence of a third-party custodian. Now, when you write a check to a financial advisor, the check should go to an independent custodial organization. Typical examples of custodians would be a major brokerage firm such as Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade, T.R. Price, or Bank of America's Merrill Lynch. Obtain the name of the firm and its contact information and make sure it exists and it's receiving your money. Now, Madoff's investors received their statements directly from who? Bernie L. Madoff Securities. And that should have been a red flag. Madoff just simply created a counterfeit paper trail with bogus receipts. The second thing, make sure an independent auditor is involved. Ask who audits your advisor and make sure they're legitimate and duly licensed to operate in your state. You see, Madoff used a small, unknown accounting firm that was beholden to him, which created a conflict of interest. In return for his fees, the minor lead auditor looked the other way. Number three, if your advisor has recently switched accounting firms, you need to determine why. New accounting firm? That's another red flag. If your advisor has dumped his accounting firm, maybe it was because the accountants responsible for verifying the books felt uncomfortable and had been raising a stink about shady books. Next, number four, do your homework and investigate the advisor's background. Okay? Conduct background checks on your advisor, starting with the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, commonly known as FINRA, which regulates the financial advisory industry. They'll let you know if there's a history of sanctions, disciplinary actions, or client complaints against your advisor. And I also want you to consult online reviews from other advisors and traders, which can give you insight into a wealth management firm's strengths and weaknesses, as well as its integrity. The fifth thing you'd be well advised to do: be suspicious of a client network held together by a common culture. You see, fraudulent advisors find it easier to fool clients by making appeals to their group identity, whether it's religious or ethnic. You should remain dispassionate and not make investment decisions based on emotional ties. The infamous financial crook, Charles Ponzi, who the Ponzi scheme is named after, what he did was he preyed on the Italian heritage of his victims. Madoff played the Jewish card and attracted a clientele heavily comprised of high net worth individuals from Jewish charities, businesses, and philanthropic foundations. In particular, many members of the New York Upper East Side elite have plowed their life savings into Bernie Madoff's firm and lost everything. Number 6, verify all academic credentials and professional certifications. Many employers don't fact-check resumes of job candidates, a lazy practice that they usually end up regretting. It's easy for someone to say they graduated from Harvard or earned a certain professional certification. Don't take your advisor's word on anything. Check his or her background. And if he cites an Ivy League education, give the university a call to make sure it's true. You'd be surprised at how brazenly some people lie about their academic records. Number 7, make sure you understand the advisory's management strategy. And this is vitally important, family. Don't just blindly accept any assertion that your advisor has a foolproof way of making money. No, learn his or her game plan. Madoff handled his gullible clients big returns every year, even during market slumps. They took it on faith that he had a magic touch with money, when in fact he was hiding losses. Also, please, family members, make sure you read the fine print of any agreement. Hidden fees and costs can quickly add up. Number 8, if you're unable to withdraw your money, you need to call the financial cops. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Once again, if you are unable to withdraw your money, you need to call the financial cops. Quick, fast, in a hurry. If you attempt to make a withdrawal and you're told that, oh, you can't, you need to immediately contact the SEC or the FBI. That's when Ponzi schemes fall apart, when investors try to take out their money, but there isn't enough money to go around. Unfortunately, by this point, it's usually too late to get your money back anyway. And number 9, be suspicious of extremely low management fees. You see, top-tier wealth managers who are legitimate typically charge hefty fees and commissions to their well-heeled clients. If a prospective advisor comes on board and includes bargain basement rates, it's a warning sign that he or she has figured out other ways to get their paws on your money. And number 10, don't be swayed if the advisor touts associations with the rich and the famous. Yeah, right. You see, associations with movie stars and high-profile charities don't make you money, and they're just meant to dazzle you. Name dropping is no substitute for solid financial acumen and performance. Does he or she know what they're doing with strategies and techniques, as opposed to just showing you names or showing you pictures or mentioning names of people that they supposedly manage their money? Can they show you real time how to make money with your money? And besides, if you dug deeper, you probably discovered that the celebrity ties, are, shall we say, tempered at best or bogus at worst. Giving you 10 ways to detect, 10 ways to track financial scam artists. Because you best believe they are out there in droves, the Bernie Madoffs of the world, they are increasing as opposed to decreasing. And you need to understand that you must see now what others see eventually and do your own homework so that you indeed will pass the test. When we come back, we're going to show you how to get P.A.I.D. After we give you the Ask What's 2 ER plays of the day, we're going to show you how to get P.A.I.D. from one of the most brilliant, obscure persons on the planet today. We're talking about Dr. Michael Burry, who is the subject matter of the movie, The Big Short. Going to show you how to get P.A.I.D. from Dr. Burry. You're inside the classroom without walls, where we want to bring you information that will allow you to not only obtain, but also maintain your economic liberation. Please cut on your recording apparatus and please be positioned to take copious notes pertaining to how to get P.A.I.D. from Dr. Michael Burry. You're inside a classroom without walls. Afterwards, what's 2 ER plays of the day up next, and then Dr. Michael Burry's strategy to get P.A.I.D. from the blue gold water.
Jigsaw pieces tossed about the room. I saw my grandma sleeping with her old straw broom, but she didn't know what she was doing. She could hardly understand that she was really sweeping up pieces of a man. I saw my daddy meet the mailman, and I heard the mailman say, now don't you take this letter too hard now, Jimmy. They've laid off 9 others today. But he didn't know what he was saying. He could hardly understand that he was only talking to him. Pieces of a man. I saw the thunder and heard the lightning and felt the burden of his shame. And for some unknown reason, he never turned my way. Pieces of that letter were tossed about the room, and now I hear the sound of sirens come knifing through the gloom, but they don't know what they are doing. They could hardly understand that they're only arresting
pieces of a man. I saw him go to pieces. I saw him go to pieces. He was always such a good man. He was always such a strong, strong man. Yeah, I saw him go to pieces. I saw him go to pieces.
And now, the ASK THE WIZ ER plays of the day. Now, family members, we have so many positions, and I have such little time to give you so much more information during this Class 1 at Walls Radio broadcast. Please listen closely, because I'll only be able to repeat these or list these positions one time. Okay? Starting out with ERs that will get you P.A.I.D. within the next 24 hours that are releasing their ER today after the market closes. Keep in mind that any ER position that you choose to actualize, two things should happen. Number one, it should be an August position. And number two, trailing stop should be set no wider than 10%. Starting out with positions that are released their ER today after the market closes. Talking about Associated Bank Corp, symbol ASB. Badger Media, symbol BMI. That's Badger Meter, symbol BMI. Brandywine Realty Trust, symbol BDN. Capital One Financial Corp, symbol COF. Cintas Corp, symbol CTAS. Denauer Corp, symbol DHR. Digital Globe, symbol DGI. E-Trade Financial Corp, symbol ETFC. Ibera Bank Corp, symbol IBKC. Intuitive Surgical, symbol ISRG. MB Financial, symbol MBFI. Manhattan Associates, symbol MANH. Maxim Integrated Products, symbol MXIM. Microsoft Corp, symbol MSFT. NCR Corp, symbol NCR. Ruby Tuesday, symbol RT. Syncent Technology, symbol SXT. Skechers USA, symbol SKX. Skyworks Solutions, symbol SWKS. Visa Inc., symbol V. Athena Health, symbol ATHN. eBay Inc., symbol EBAY. And now positions that will release their ER tomorrow before the market opens. Ameris Bank Corp, symbol ABCB. Autoliv Inc., symbol ALV. Colgate Palmolive, symbol CL. Fifth Third Bank, symbol FITB. General Electric, symbol GE. Honeywell International, symbol HON. Huntington Bank Shares, symbol HBAN. Kansas City Southern, symbol KSU. Moody's Corporation, symbol MCO. Regions Financial, symbol RF. SunTrust Bank, symbol STI. Synchrony Financial, symbol SYF. And Webstar Financial Corp, symbol WBS. Kinder Morgan, symbol KMI. LaSalle Hotel, symbol LHO. Excuse me. Next we have Monroe Muffler and Brake, symbol MNRO. Nucor Corp, symbol NUE. Omni Group, symbol OMC. PPG Industries, symbol PPG. Philip Morris International, symbol PM. And let's see, Sherman Williams, symbol SHW. Travelers Company, symbol TRV. Okay. And let's see here. We have such an extensive list here of positions that are available to get you paid. Okay. And family members, Some of these lists are running over to positions that are ER plays that we're monetizing today, and those that are releasing the ER today after the market closes and tomorrow before the market opens. So family members, you have 35 positions that are releasing their ER today after the market closes and or tomorrow before the market opens, and I've listed all of those positions for you. Please, family members, complete all the steps of our drill down. Don't skip any of the steps, and in the event you choose to actualize, which means buy to open, the future will monetize these positions before 4 p.m. tomorrow. Make sure that trailing stop initially is set no wider than 10%. 10% max on that trailing stop only. Now, family members, I want you to pay very, very close attention to me. One of the movies that we request that our ASK THE WIZ Institute family members look at, okay, to find out exactly what happened with the great stock market crash and then also the subsequent recession that began back in 2007 and going into 2008, we asked people to look at a movie called The Big Short. The Big Short. And The Big Short is about a very, very prudent MD. He's a medical doctor that decided that he was going to practice medicine. He knew that he could become wealthy far faster by trading and investing. So what he turned around and did was he became a full-time trader and investor and stopped practicing medicine. His name is Dr. Michael Burry. Now, he turned the trading and investing world on his head. And he was, after he made several $100 million off of betting against the market, the FBI harassed him and the IRS harassed him for several years, and he sort of faded into oblivion. He very seldom gives interviews, okay? He's become more of a recluse right now, but he's trading and getting P.A.I.D. very quietly, but he's getting paid handsomely. Now, he brought home the fact that the uber wealthy know that you can get paid when the market goes up and when the market goes down. The masses, okay, the regular traders and investors only think that they can get paid when the market goes up. No, that is wrong. That's a blatant lie. And in ASK THE WIZ Institute, we teach and we show you how you can even get paid when the market goes up or when the market goes down. Now, one of the common ways to get P.A.I.D. when the market goes down on straight up stock buys is by shorting the underlying stock position. And one of the best and common ways to get P.A.I.D. from the options market when a underlying stock goes to the downside is by taking a put option in the particular position. Now, he was smart enough, talking about Dr. Michael Burry, to give you a little bit of background on him. He was smart enough that when the real estate market was going through the roof, 2005, 2006, and all those times, okay, what he did was he looked at all of the adjustable rate mortgages that everybody was getting back then, and he calculated when those adjustable rate mortgages would reset, because he knew the majority of the people that were getting into the homes could barely afford the entry payment, okay? The payments at the beginning of the mortgage. So if they could barely afford the payments at the beginning of the mortgage, what was going to happen when the adjustable rate mortgages readjusted and adjusted higher? They weren't going to adjust lower. Guess what? Default rates would increase. So he went out and had insurance companies issue policies that would pay off when the adjustable rate mortgages increased and the foreclosures increased as a result of the defaults and people not being able to make their payments. Well, we all know that happened. Foreclosures reached all-time highs. The real estate bubble burst, and he got P.A.I.D. Now, as I mentioned, one of the best movies that I know of. In fact, one of the 8 films that was nominated to win the Oscar for the Best Picture at the 88th Academy Awards in 2016 was The Big Short, okay? And the movie was based on Michael Lewis's book, The Big Short, Inside the Doomsday Machines. And it tells a story of 4 investors who predicted the credit card and housing bubble collapse in 2008. And they decided to bet against Wall Street, earning billions of dollars in the process. Now, the first of these investors that predicted the housing bubble was Dr. Michael Burry, who is portrayed in The Big Short by Christian Bale. Now, while the movie does a great job explaining how Dr. Burry was able to make nearly $1 billion betting against the housing market in 2008, it left many viewers very puzzled about a completely different issue. And that's the last line of the movie printed on a card. And it says, listen to this. And when I saw it, I immediately thought, I said, you know what? We've already looked at this in the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute. We're so blessed to see now what others see eventually. But at the very end of the movie, The Big Short, you're going to see on the screen, and it says, and I quote, Michael Burry is focusing all of his trading on one commodity, water. Now, this is a perplexing statement because unlike other commodities like oil and cotton or silver, there's no market to trade water. Listen to me. So how can someone invest in water? Should you just buy a rain bucket? Well, you have three options, excuse the pun, if you want to invest in water. Listen to me closely. You can, 1, purchase water rights. You can, 2, invest in water-rich farmland. Or number 3, and this is the intelligent way, invest in water utilities, infrastructure, and equipment. But first, let's talk about why you want to invest in water in the first place. Depending upon where you live, you might take fresh, clean water for granted. I know that we normally all do that. We often spout off the fact that 70% of the Earth's surface is covered in water, something we probably all learned in kindergarten. Well, that is true. Fresh water, however, the kind we care about actually only represents 2.5% of that amount. And on top of that, only 1% of all our fresh water is easily accessible. With most of the other 99% trapped in glaciers and snowfields, that predicts a problem. In the end, only 0.007% of the planet's water is actually available to fuel and feed the world's 7 billion people. We all know that water is essential for life, but 0.007% of the world's total water is still a lot of fresh water. So what's the problem here? Well, I'll tell you. According to the United Nations, water use has grown at over twice the rate of the world's population increase in the last century. Today, we use about 30% of the world's total access renewable water supply. In less than 10 years, that percentage could reach 70%. And by 2025, an estimated 1.8 billion people will live in areas plagued by water scarcity, with 2/3 of the world's population living in a water-stressed region. Making matters worse, the water infrastructure in most countries is aging, and we haven't taken any steps to upgrade it yet. The American Society of Civil Engineers predicts that at current rates, there will be $84.4 billion with regards to a gap by 2020 between what we're spending on water infrastructure and what is needed. So, without upgrades, the U.S. is facing a loss of $416 billion in GDP. Still, do you not think that access to fresh water is an issue? Oh, yes, it is. Just ask anyone who lives in California, which is in its 5th year of one of the worst droughts on record. Or ask anyone who's witnessed one of the 195 conflicts since 2000 that have been caused by water. Or ask the residents of Flint, Michigan, who are experiencing firsthand the effects of America's aging water infrastructure. So clearly, there's a growing and critical demand for access to fresh water and for related products and services. So how can an intelligent trader and investor profit from it? Let me break it down to you. Listen to me closely. Your first option is purchasing water rights. Now, water right gives the owner the right to use water from a water source, i.e. a river, stream, pond, or a source of groundwater. An investor who buys a water right can make money by selling, or in some states renting out, the water right for a higher price than was originally paid. And buyers might be, for instance, municipalities, farmers, or corporations. Now, obviously, prices depend on the demand for the water, which itself is a function of the need for the water and the water usage. For example, hydraulic fracturing, generates massive demand for water, as the development of an oil well requires 3 to 5 million gallons of water, and 80% of that water can't be reused. So fracking companies therefore pay as much as $3,000 per acre foot for water rights, compared to only $50 per acre foot by farmers. Now, setting aside the moral implications that might arise from choosing to sell water solely to the highest price bidder, the economics of making money from water and water rights face other issues as well. The main issue is that it's a perfect example of the greater fool theory. That's the greater fool theory. That is, the water right itself doesn't provide any value. Consequently, the only way to make money from water rights is to find someone willing to pay a higher price for it than you did. Sometimes this might work out, and sometimes it may not. Here's a perfect example. We all know T. Boone Pickens, don't we? Yeah. Well, T. Boone Pickens owns more water rights than anyone else in the United States. In 2011, while Texas was suffering through one of the worst droughts in more than 50 years, Pickens was trying to sell his rights to an aquifer, which is one of the world's largest aquifers, to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Talks with Dallas were dependent on the area's drought situation. Every time it rained, negotiations fell apart for T. Boone Pickens. Pickens eventually sold to the Canadian River Authority for half of his asking price. He later compared the deal to buying and selling a boat. The happiest 2 days of owning a boat are the day you buy it and the day you sell it. In addition to the greater fool theory, the right to water is a highly political and litigious, matter and issue. T. Boone Pickens has huge political influence in Texas and owns enormous amounts of water rights, which is why he is pursuing his particular strategy. Additionally, water laws are very complicated and vary state by state, and raise the issue: how can someone own, buy, or sell a resource that is a human right and is necessary for all forms of life to survive? In any case, the barriers to entry here mean buying water rights just doesn't make sense for the average investor. Option number 2 for you is invest in water-rich farmland. 2,000 years ago, the ancient Romans built aqueducts to transport water from higher elevations to lower elevations. And aqueducts, combined with pipelines and pumping systems, are still used today in some geographies, including California, Australia, and Libya. However, transporting water is not an easy feat, nor does it entirely solve problems without creating new ones. So here are some of the issues. The actual construction of a pipeline is extremely expensive, often costing billions of dollars. Then you have the maintenance. Maintenance expenses to keep the pipelines going are also incredibly high. And then you have, just like any oil pipeline, the construction of a water pipeline can disrupt ecosystems, ruin scenery, and create obstructions. And lastly, and most importantly, water pipelines by their nature are designed to divert water from a specific source. This can have serious ripple effects, affecting coastlines and aquatic life, plant life, and economic activity. So this brings us to the crux of Dr. Michael Burry's latest water trade and why we're talking about farmland. In December 2015, he gave a rare interview with New York Magazine. And this is what Dr. Burry had to say about water. Listen to me closely, and I quote: "Transporting water is impractical for both political and physical reasons, so buying up water rights did not make a lot of sense to me. What became clear to me is that food is the way to invest in water. That is, grow food in water-rich areas and transport it for sale to water-poor areas. This is the method for redistribution and redistributing water that is least contentious. And ultimately, it can be profitable, which will ensure that this redistribution is indeed sustainable. A bottle of wine takes over 400 bottles of water to produce. The water embedded in food is what I found interesting, end quote. And in another interview with Bloomberg in 2010, Dr. Michael Burry said, and I quote, "I believe that agricultural land, productive agricultural land with water on site will be valuable in the future," end quote. Now, certainly compared to water rights and water pipelines, growing food in water-rich areas and selling it into water-poor areas is the least contentious and most sustainable method for water distribution. So, how can this be capitalized upon? Well, Dr. Burry, as I indicated, is extremely and incredibly media shy. But according to my research, he's been buying up almond farms. Okay, the nut almond, A-L-M-O-N-D, he's been buying up almond farms. Now, why is he doing this as we monitor the uber wealthy? Well, growing almonds takes a ridiculous amount of water, 1 gallon per almond. Paradoxically, 80% of the world's almond supply is grown in California, which is going through one of the world's worst droughts. Now, farmers can follow, and try to replicate what he's doing, but you can't follow and reproduce an almond orchard at a menial cost. An almond tree takes 3 years to mature and produces for 18 to 20 years. Now, without water, the tree dies and the farmer loses an enormous long-term investment. Because surface water has been rationed in California, farmers are drilling deeper and deeper for groundwater just to keep their almond orchards alive. But Dr. Burry's thesis is pretty clear now. You see, with the demand for almonds continuing to grow, the farmland with the best access to on-site water is the one that is going to win out in the end, gaining share as competing almond farmers run out of water and are forced out of the marketplace. Now, just like water rights, the barrier to pursuing this investment strategy is extremely high. The investments would have to be made on a very localized regional basis and would require fairly significant amounts of capital, which he has. Again, this is not a great strategy for the average investor. But now let me give you the strategy to get paid from the Michael Burrys of the world. A strategy that is indeed applicable for the average investor. And I'm talking about investing in water utilities, infrastructure, and equipment. Now, the recent crisis in Flint, Michigan, where lead from the city's aging pipe system leaked into the water supply, has drawn national attention to the nation's aging water infrastructure. By some estimates, more than $1 trillion in upgrades over the next 25 years are needed for the vast systems of mostly underground pipes in the United States. And experts are saying concerns over the aging infrastructure can no longer be ignored. In fact, the American Society of Civil Engineers believes that most of our drinking water infrastructure is nearly at the end of its useful life, and gave the country's drinking water and sewage infrastructure a D grade. Now, without upgrades, the U.S. is facing a loss of $416 billion in GDP due to increased costs to households, loss of water productivity, increasing waste of water, and more disastrous events like Flint, Michigan. Now, what kind of investment does the country need? New and improved treatment plants, expanded pipes, and better wastewater networks. And the ASCE recommends financing these projects through government-backed revolving loans, tax-free private bonds, and the establishment of a federal water infrastructure trust and a water infrastructure financial innovations authority committee with the ability to borrow from the federal government. Now, additionally, bills are in the process in various states' capitals that could open the door to the privatization of water utilities in an effort to improve the quality and operations of poorly managed public water systems like the one in Flint. Now, one way to benefit from these coming changes is to invest in the stocks of individual water utility companies. The water utility space is highly fragmented, and the future privatization could lead to a roll-up by larger companies, as well as free up access to the capital markets for infrastructure development. Now, the implementation of this strategy is already partly underway. Write this down. American Waterworks Company, symbol AWK, is the largest publicly traded water and waste service provider in the United States. Okay? And it closes approximately 15 acquisitions every year. Okay? And the second largest utility in the water space is a company called Aqua America, symbol WTR. Now, this company has made 300 acquisitions over the past 2 decades. Now, let me give you the other positions. Okay? The other ways to get P.A.I.D. from the blue gold, talking about water, would be Calgon Carbon, symbol CCC. Moeller Water Products, symbol MWA. And Xylem, symbol XYL. Now, Calgon Carbon is a manufacturer of products that remove contaminants and odors from liquids and gases, both for industrial, municipal, and consumer markets. Calgon Carbon, symbol CCC. Moeller Water Products, symbol MWA, is one of the largest manufacturers and distributors of the hydrants, pipe fittings, and valves for water in North America. Moeller Water Products, symbol MWA, and Xylem, symbol XYL, is a manufacturer of pumps, valves, and analytic equipment used to move, test, and treat water in more than 150 countries. Now, at the end of the day, you must understand and understand how to get P.A.I.D. from the blue gold, as Dr. Burry is doing. But now I'm going to give you his number one position. The number one position that he invests in to get P.A.I.D. from the blue gold. Now, he invests in these other positions that I just gave you, but there's one that stands out head and shoulders above the rest that he tends to favor quite extensively. So I need for you to write this down, okay? This particular position is the Guggenheim S&P Global Water Index. The Guggenheim S&P Global Water Index, symbol CGW. Once again, symbol CGW. Now, if you notice, throughout this day's radio broadcast, I've been giving you information pertaining to the uber wealthy, explaining to you exactly how they're getting P.A.I.D., identifying specific positions that they are taking to not only obtain but maintain their economic liberation. Please write this down. You want to get paid from a billionaire that has proven himself to be able to think outside of the box, to see now what others see eventually. We're talking about Dr. Michael Burry. You get paid from the blue gold. We're talking about the Guggenheim S&P Global Water Index ETF, symbol CGW. Okay? This is one of the best ETFs to invest in if you want exposure to water-related companies. The CGW is the position. It tracks the S&P Global Water Index, and this particular position is one that will get you P.A.I.D. consistently. Now, the S&P Global Water Index itself tracks 50 companies from around the world that are involved in water-related businesses. This is a gold mine for blue gold. We're talking about the Guggenheim S&P Global Water Index ETF, symbol CGW. And as I'm running out of time here, I'm going to go ahead and give you quickly, okay, some additional positions to get your P.A.I.D. from blue gold. Write this down. Power Shares, Water Resource Portfolio, symbol PHO. Okay? This particular ETF invests in 37 different companies that are all mostly based or focus on the U.S. market as it relates to water. Then you have the Power Shares Global Water Portfolio, symbol PIO. That's PIO. This water ETF serves as a proxy for the NASDAQ OMG Global Water Index. Okay? Next up, First Trust ISE Water Index Fund, symbol FIW. Okay? This particular position tries to match its assets in an index developed by the First Trust called the ISE Water Index. And then lastly, the Summit Water Infrastructure Multi-Factor Index, symbol WTRX. Okay? This particular position is a smaller position that focuses on the water infrastructure industry. So there you have it. WTRX, FIW, PIO. Then we have PHO, and don't you dare forget that Guggenheim position, the one that Dr. Burry tends to like the most, symbol CGW. We are indeed running out of time here, but we have so much information to give to you. I tell you what I'd like for you to do is I want you to stay with me for just a few seconds. Producers, I'll be going over. I want to give you a couple of mergers and acquisitions that are going to occur. That is low-hanging fruit money that we can get paid upon very, very quickly, as we see now, what others see eventually. Now, I want you to write this information down. These are mergers and acquisitions that will be occurring. Okay, I'm going to give you pertinent information to each one of them. Now, the company that is being bought, their stock will tend to rise. The company that's doing the buying, their stock will tend to stabilize and or possibly fall. Okay, so here we go quickly as I'm running out of time. There are always multiple M&A, merger and acquisition opportunities pending, but at the moment there are only a few that everyday traders and investors need to keep an eye on. I want to bring your attention to Bass Pro Shops, okay, acquisition of Cabela's. Okay, so Bass Pro Shops is in the process of buying Cabela's. Cabela's, symbol CAB, all right? I don't have time to go through all the intricacies of it. Google it yourself, but CAB call option would be your position to get you paid. And do an ER on this particular position, our ER strategy on this position, because when this company has its next ER, they're going to be announcing and talking about the pending Bass Pro Shop acquisition, and as a result of that, CAB will move to the upside. Call option upon completion of the appropriate drill down to get you P.A.I.D. Next, Rite Aid, okay, and the Walgreens Boots Alliance merger. All right, now supposedly Rite Aid is supposed to be in position to be bought out by Walgreens Boots Alliance. This may or may not happen. But as this moves closer and closer to fruition, if it indeed does occur, Rite Aid will rise, symbol RAD. WBA, Walgreens Boots Alliance, which is the company buying Rite Aid, will move to the downside. Monitor this closely, check your headlines and the like, and as it gets closer and closer to actually occurring, if it is not stopped, this deal is not stopped, RAD will be your call option to get you paid. Next, Dow Chemical and EI DuPont Demers, which are looking at merging, and both of these companies are basically in a situation that will benefit both of these big companies, okay? So you may be able to do a call on both of these to get paid. Dow Chemical, symbol DOW, EI DuPont Demers, symbol DD. All right, you want to keep your eye on this. Next, Monsanto, symbol MON, and Bayer, symbol BAYRY merger. Okay, now this deal continues to experience some headwinds with regulatory approval pending for Bayer to buy out Monsanto. All right, so you're going to be looking at Monsanto, symbol MON, rising if this deal does receive regulatory clearance. All right, MON Monsanto to rise. Call option upon completion of the appropriate drill down. And then lastly, quickly, AT&T's acquisition of Time Warner. AT&T, symbol T, seeking to acquire Time Warner, symbol TWX. Now, this monster $85 billion deal remains uncertain as the Department of Justice continues to investigate antitrust issues. If you see or hear favorable headlines pertaining to this proposed acquisition, okay, Time Warner, symbol TWX, will be your call option, okay? And AT&T may pull back slightly, but I wouldn't take a put option on them. I would just actualize to monetize the call option on TWX. Family members, monitor these pending mergers and acquisitions. They're low-hanging fruit, stay out in front of the market, and understand and overstand. The ER, listen to me very closely on what I'm about to say. The ER of the company that is being acquired, okay, will highlight the acquisition. So that company which is being acquired, that company which is being bought, that underlying stock will move to the upside. Call option is applicable upon the completion of the appropriate drill down, and you get P.A.I.D. Let me go over these companies once again quickly. AT&T to buy Time Warner. TWX, call option upon notification and confirmation of the merger. Then we have Bayer to buy Monsanto, symbol MON, okay? That is a huge deal. And if that deal goes through, then Monsanto, symbol MON, will rise. Call option upon completion of the appropriate drill down. Then we have Dow Chemical and E.I. DuPont de Nemours. Both of those two positions may be call option candidates because this is indeed a merger of the equals. Then we have Rite Aid and Walgreens Boots Alliance. Walgreens Boots Alliance to be bought to buy out Rite Aid. Rite Aid, upon completion of FTC compliance and approval, Rite Aid will rise. Upon completion of appropriate drill down, call option will be applicable. And then Bass Pro Shops, acquisition of Cabela's. Cabela's symbol is CAB, okay? Once this deal is finalized, you can rest assured that CAB will be announcing this in the upcoming ER release, and CAB call option will be applicable upon completion of the appropriate drill down. Once again, family members, providing you with information that will allow you to not only obtain, but also maintain your economic liberation. That's what we're here to do as your community servants. Family members, like always, it's been an honor to be with each and every one of you doing this, another ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast. I want to remind those of you that are members of the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute that we will be having our normally scheduled ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute virtual trader room this Monday. We're talking about July the 24th from 9:30 until 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you, me, we, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family, form one mastermind, maintain the appropriate chakra level, stay in the right meridian, and we make Wall Street pay us right here on Main Street. Peace and blessings be upon each and every one of you. This is your humble servant, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves. This ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast is now dismissed.